Okay, I want to start my today topic. That is silkworm seed production. Silkworm seed production. Yeah. See here, how to produce the silkworm seed. Generally, grainages, they will produce as the pure hybrid seeds. Pure hybrid seeds, and these grainage centers are the more popular as commercial egg production centers. Commercial egg production centers are nothing but the grainages. So in these grainages, commercially they will produce the silkworm eggs. Okay, and they have directly linked with the rearers. Grainages, they will linked up with the seed rearers. Seed rearers. So in the grainages, seed production will be done in the good conditions. By maintaining the good conditions, they will produce the seeds. The main aim of this seed production is to produce the quantitative seeds. Quantitative seeds. Okay. To produce the quantitative seeds, we should maintain proper conditions that will be maintained in the grainages by the people. Okay. So the center, grainage center should have some qualities. It should maintain some characters. First one is it should have proper facilities. Grainage center should have proper facilities and good environmental conditions. Grainage center should have good environmental conditions and it should have all the facilities. And one more important point it should contain is spacious rooms. Spacious rooms. Okay, it should contain all the facilities and good environmental conditions, spatial rooms available for these grainages. And next one, very important one is without any water stagnation should be there. Water stagnation, if it is present, it will produce. It is a main site for the mosquito production or other insect production. Stagnant water is the main source for the insect production. That's why it will disturb the silkworm production. If any water stagnated around the grainage building, that will disturb the silkworm production. That's why the grainages should contain all these facilities and good environment, spatial rooms. There is no water stagnation surrounding the buildings. We should maintain all these facilities. Okay. Next, one more important one is this grainages must and should be away from the factories. Grainages must and should be away from the factories and also away from the pesticide industries. Okay, the grainage rooms must and should be away from the factories and pesticide industries. Why? Because if any pollutants will release into the environment, those pollutants from the factories and the pesticides that will show impact on the silkworm production. That will show impact on the silkworm production. Okay, so grainages should have all the facilities. It should have spatial rooms and good environmental conditions, and see that there is no water stagnated surrounding the building. So we should maintain all these facilities, then we can expect the good quality silk. Okay, next one. These grainages must and should be away from the factories and pesticide industries. Otherwise, if the pollutants will disturb the silkworm industry, silk production. And next one is the seed production center must be established where the sericulture is familiar to the villagers. So better to establish in the villages where they know much about the sericulture. Okay, Sericulture, seed production center must and should be established where the sericulture is proper among the villagers. If they know the various methods and mechanisms behind the silk production, it is better to establish the industries there. That means establish the seed production center there. Okay. Next one. These grainages also they will conduct the these grainage centers also they will conduct the training programs. Grainages they will conduct the training programs. Training. So these grainage centers, they will not only produce the good seeds as well as they will conduct the uh, training programs for the unemployed youth who are there in the villages. They will conduct one seminar or one training program for those to create the awareness. Why they are conducting the training? To create the awareness among those unemployed people regarding this commercial rearing of the silk. Okay, who will conduct the training? Grainagers. They will conduct the training for the unemployed youth to create what? To create the awareness regarding the commercial use of the silk. So next one is next very important step in this seed production is synchronization of math. Synchronization of math. Math synchronization. What is the meaning of math synchronization? We will discuss now. While preparing any hybrid seed, the maths of different races, the maths of the different races must and should emerge simultaneously at a time. Simultaneously at a time. That emerging is called as math synchronization. Okay, once again I will repeat. While preparing any hybrid seed, all the maths of the races must and should emerge simultaneously in the same day. So then only we will get good results. So that is called as synchronization of the math. Synchronization of the math. For example, I will take you. So for example, math A is there, math B and C are there. Silk math A, B, C are there. B and C, and they will take 7 days time. 7 days to emerge. So for this A, it will take 9 days to emerge. So then what we have to do is this A strain must to be incubated 2 days earlier than this B and C. Okay, so again I will repeat. So we had given one example A, B, C. In these 3 types of mass, A it must and should incubate 9 days. It will take BC for the BC, it will take 7 days. So for this, to synchronize the mass, we must and should incubate the type A 2 days earlier than this B and C. Then all these three will come outside in the 7th day only. Okay. So that is called as synchronization. Okay. Next important one is the safe period of refrigeration. The safe period of refrigeration is varies with the stages and the sexes of the silkworm. Refrigeration or incubation also varies. So it varies with the sexes as well as stages, at what stage it is present. So the refrigeration or the incubation varies among the races or according to sexes and the stages. Next one. So if you see according to the sexes, I will give an example here. See here, the male pupa, I will write with the other color. The male pupa, it will take 7 days for synchronization. It will take 7 days for the 7 days incubation is required for the male. So the female at the same time, female require 2-3 days only, 2 to 3 days only for the refrigeration. Female. Okay. I think I will repeat once again. Male silk moth requires 7 days for the refrigeration, whereas at the same time female require 2 to 3 days for the refrigeration. So then what are the conditions we should maintain this in this refrigeration or in the incubation? What are the different conditions we should implement? See here, I will tell you once again. The ideal temperature for the moth, the good temperature, optimum temperature for the moth is 50 degrees centigrade. 50 degrees centigrade with a humidity percentage is 65%. We should maintain the humidity. Ideal temperature is 50 and the humidity is the 65%. Humidity is 65% for cocoons. Okay, so these conditions we should follow while seed production. Ideal temperature is 50 degrees and 65% of humidity we should maintain. Now let us discuss how the moth will emerge out of the cocoons. How the cocoons, the moth will come out of the cocoons. So the silkworm, after spinning the cocoon, larges inside the cocoon and transform into pupa. See here, this is the cocoon. Inside this cocoon, the moth will settle down inside of the cocoon, and it will later turns into the pupal stage, pupa. Okay, in the cocoon stage, simply the moth sit inside and it will turns into pupa stage. So whenever the pupa later it morphoses, the pupa converted into silkworm insect. Silkworm insect. This conversion of pupa into the silkworm, that is called as metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. So the pupa metamorphoses into moth and it is comes out of the cocoon. So the coming out of the cocoon is called as emergence. Emergence of the mouth from the cocoon. So the from the cocoon the insect will come outside. I will write here once again. So first the pupa present inside the cocoon. So it undergoes metamorphosis and the developed insect will come out. For example, this is a cocoon. The insect will come out. The releasing out of cocoon is called as emergence, moth emergence. The insect coming outside of the cocoon is called as moth emergence. Moth emergence. So generally the emergence, it will take approximately 9 to 14 days. 9 to 14 days of spinning. After the spinning of 9 to 14 days, the moth will be emerged outside of the cocoon. So it is the emergence, moth emergence also, it is based on the season, based on the race of the silkworm, all those things. They will influence. So generally, the expected time of moth emergence can be predicted by observing the pupal stage. We can expect when the moth will come outside of this cocoon by observing simply the pupa present. Okay, by observing the pupa and the cocoon characters. Pupa and the cocoon characters, by this observation, we will note out what is the expected time to come out of the cocoon. We will find out. Next one. So for the moth emergency, we should maintain some specific conditions. For the moth emergency, we should follow some specific conditions. What are those? The cocoons must and should be kept in the darkness. Darkness. We should maintain the low temperature. Next, on the expected day of emergency, bright light will be illuminated. Bright light. So what I told you just now, the moths should be kept in the cocoons will be kept in the darkness, and later the bright light will be illuminated onto the cocoons. And at the early morning, 4 to 6, the early morning, the pupal stage converted into moth and moth will come out of the cocoons. So for this release of this moth from the cocoon, we should maintain the temperature at 25 degrees centigrade and 75 to 80% humidity conditions. So the moth will come out of the cocoon whenever you maintain these conditions, 25 degrees centigrade and 75 to 80% humidity to be maintained. Is it clear? So one more important point is, if the intensity of light increases, what will happen? I already told you cocoons must and should be kept in the dark room. If the light increases, light brightness will increases, automatically the moth emergency will be decreases. Emergency will be decreases. If the light increases, automatically it will destroy the pupa inside of the cocoon by increasing the temperature. Then the emergency of the moth out of the cocoon will be decreases. Okay, this is our today topic. Once again, I will repeat. So silkworm production is very, very important. The silkworm production are mainly done by the grainagers. So in the special centers, those are called grainages. So for these grainages, we see that the seed production center must and should be away from the factories, industries, and it should contain, grainage room should contain spatial rooms and all the proper facilities and good environmental conditions. So we should maintain all these. Next one, these grainages also, they will create the awareness. They will create the awareness among the unemployed youth regarding the silkworm production. The grainages, not only they will produce the seeds, but also they will create the awareness among the people, unemployed youths. So they will conduct the training programs. Next, synchronization of the moth. It is very, very important. Synchronization means what? While preparing the hybrid seeds, moths of different races are emerges out of the cockroach at different rates. So, for example, race A is there, race B, C are there. For A, it will take 9 days for the come out, and for B and C, it will take 7 days. So to maintain the equality here, we should keep the race A 2 days before the compared to the B and C. Then that is called a synchronization of the silkworm seeds. Next, moth emergency. Whenever the cocoon contain the pupal stage, later this pupal stage will be turned into the moth. Once the moth will be developed inside the cocoon, the moth will come out of the cocoons. That is a releasing of the moth outside of the cocoon is called as moth emergency or moth emergence. So for this moth emergence, we should maintain the temperature and humidity conditions. So first one is we should maintain the 25 degree centigrade temperature and 75 to 80% humidity conditions. Then only the moth will come out of the cocoons. So for here, the male pupa and the female pupa having the different refrigeration temperatures. For example, here the male pupa, it will be refrigerated up to 7 days and the female only 2 to 3 days. Male 7 days, female 2 to 3 days. And one more important is the ideal temperature for the refrigeration is 50 degrees centigrade. We should maintain the 50 degrees centigrade and humidity is 65%. So these conditions will lead the pupa into the moth. So for the emergency of the moth to outside, we should maintain the 25 degrees with the 80%, 75 to 80% humidity conditions. One more interesting point is, if you increase the light intensity, automatically the seed emergency will decrease. Why? Because the temperature will be gone behind the limits. So the temperature will be increased. That will show effect on the production rate. So the moth emergency will be decreases if the light increases, light intensity increases. So this is about the silkworm seed production, how the seed will be produced, what are the uses of the grainages, and synchronization of the moth and moth emergency, all those things. So in this, generally moth will be emerge outside after 9 to 4 days of spinning. 9 to 14 days of spinning, sorry. 9 to 14 days of spinning is over, then only it will come out. So, but the pupal age varies according to the ways, according to the size, according to seasons, according to the season, according to the race, the size of the pupa will be varies. Pupal age varies. So the expected time, the general expected time of the moth emergency will be guessed, expected by observing the cocoons. By observing the cocoons and the pupal stages, we can expect when the moth will emerges from the cocoon. By observing the cocoon characters as well as the pupa, you can see that when it will come out of the cocoons. Okay, and it will require specific environmental conditions too. The moth will come out of the cocoon whenever there is a special conditions. I just now I told you. So what are the special conditions? We should maintain the 25-degree temperature for 75 to 80% of humidity conditions. If these two conditions are available for the cocoons, then the moth will come out of the cocoons. Okay, this is about the today topic: moth emergency, synchronization of moth, seed production, and silkworm seed production. All those things. In the tomorrow class, we will discuss the remaining topics: how to rear the silk from the seed cocoons and all those things, how to kill the uh, moths, all those things inside the cocoons. Generally, the moth, the pupal stages will be killed inside of the moth by by placing the cocoons inside the heat water. So if you once place the cocoons inside the heat water, the cocoons will die. The larval stages will be die inside, and then we can rear the silk from the cocoon. So there are different stages are there. We will discuss in the next session. Okay. Bye bye. Take care. Have a nice day, all of you.